All right, so before the episode starts, I'm just going to read our new iTunes review this week. This is by Gage Klein, which we talked about last week. He contacted us on Twitter. This is a really good review, actually. It's really nice. He says, I just stumbled upon this pod the other day, and I'm already up to date. I was searching for one that talks about geek culture in general, but Final Fantasy is one of my favorite gaming series, so it immediately caught my eye. While I love The Big Bang Theory since it premiered, it made geek culture cool and mainstream, and I often get the feeling that most things dealing with it now, whether it be podcasts or television shows, aren't sincere. They're just trying to capitalize on the audience. When I listen to UFF, I don't get that impression. The hosts generally know the material that they're talking about and seem to be passionate about it. I love the talk about the story and characters. The sky's the limit for this subject. I myself could talk about it for hours. The only thing that would make this pod better is if I were called in as a guest. Thank you very much, Gage Klein. You are in the running for getting a free mug, which I will announce the winner in 2 days. So here is what I need you as the audience to do. It does take 24 to 48 hours for iTunes to post your review that you put up to like approve it and make sure it doesn't have any hate speech or whatever. So as soon as you hear this podcast, I want you to get on iTunes or on Stitcher. I will check Stitcher too, and I want you to write us a review. And on the 18th, I will make a special short podcast announcing the winner and how we're going to go about sending you the mug. All right, so make sure you get to it.
Live from Salt Lake City, Utah, this is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph Golier and Caleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
So welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. I am Joe.
And I am Caleb.
And we finally finished 4.
Yeah, it took me a long time. I finished it like 10 minutes ago.
Seriously. 10 minutes ago, here at my apartment. He brought the game over last night thinking he was going to finish it, but he had to do some leveling up before he could be the final boss.
Yeah, he was an asshole, that's for sure. But we'll get into that later.
Definitely. So I guess we promised them that it would take us 3 weeks, and it took us 4. And we sincerely apologize for that.
Yep, we'll have to make it up on 5.
I guess, yeah, maybe.
2 weeks, baby, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so after we're done with Final Fantasy IV, we will be moving on to Final Fantasy V.
Right.
And not 4 interlude or after years like
Nope.
we were talking about before.
I think we're going to do the other plan where we go through the sequels in order.
Go through the sequels after we've
after we've
finished the
done
main
all the main
games. Yeah,
games. And then we'll do 4s and then 7s and
That
whatever else.
that makes perfectly good sense. Today we're also going to have a guest on the show, another friend of ours. His name is also Caleb, so it's going to be a little confusing. We got 2 Calebs and a Joe in the house.
Yeah.
We all did a separate version of Final Fantasy IV, and this guy, this other Caleb, he finished Final Fantasy IV like a couple weeks. He finished it when we finished 3, so we figure it's soon enough, and he could have a different perspective. He actually did the 3D DS completely hauled over game engine version of Final Fantasy IV. I did the Final Fantasy IV complete for the PSP, and then you did the PS1 version.
Yeah,
right?
the Final Fantasy Chronicles
Final
version.
Fantasy Chronicles, which also includes Chrono Cross. So we figure, or Chrono Trigger, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Final Fantasy Chronicles includes Chrono Trigger, thus making it a Final Fantasy game.
Essentially.
According to our definition, right?
If Kingdom Hearts is a Final Fantasy game, Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger are both Final Fantasy games.
Yes. Well, it does come with the Final Fantasy package. It says Final Fantasy on it.
It does
So
on
Square
the
must
disc.
be like, this is a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, it's on the disc.
I'm sure we're pissing off like Chrono Trigger fans. That are like, it's not Final Fantasy.
Yeah, whatever.
Which it's not, but
We're probably going to review it anyway.
Yeah, we're probably going to do it anyway.
We're just going to become an RPG.
Sometime in the future.
Yeah, and then we'll review that sweet-ass Lord of the Rings RPG game when we get to that. After we do all of these, because it's like a Final Fantasy X meets Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god. You know what else is Final Fantasy? If anyone ever played the really shitty Game Boy Advance game for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, it's a turn-based RPG with random enemies. It's awesome.
That sounds pretty
Yeah.
pretty intense. I
It's-
had no idea that
Yeah,
existed.
yeah. So like the first two Harry Potter Game Boy games were like action games, and then Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is a turn-based RPG. Like
Nice.
I was a big Harry Potter fan, so when I got it, I was like, yes! And then it was like weird. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this? It was probably the first turn-based game I'd played.
It's a little weird at first, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
So I think that's about it. Let's move on to the news, shall we?
We shall.
News.
All right, so we only have 2 items of news this week. It's a really fucking slow week for Final Fantasy as far as news goes, which is good because we have plenty to say about Final Fantasy IV.
Oh yeah.
So the first thing in news this week is that Final Fantasy XIV's patch was, of course, released, but apparently there was a lot of problems with it, including like the boss Rama was like, there was this summon that you could have that made it really easy to defeat this mega boss. It was like a glitch thing that they're working on. They also like added player HP because apparently this was like a really disappointing patch for a lot of players.
Except for the ones that
I guess they had a lot of problems.
except for the ones that manipulated the boss fight and got it done.
Yeah, they're probably happy about that.
They're probably really happy.
I'm not sure. I read that thing about that. I'm not sure if they're gonna fix the boss problem or if that's just just a thing that's gonna be the way that it's gonna be. But yeah, you Final Fantasy 14 players out there, make sure you research that stuff. 'Cause,
Yeah. Take that guy out now.
Yeah.
So
all right.
also in news today we have another game announced.
Yep.
Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Who knows what the fuck that means?
It's like some librarian game. I don't know. But all we know about it is that it has Squall, Yuna, and Titus, and that's like it.
Yeah, that's it. They're just showing up in the game.
Yeah,
possibly.
there's not much else.
It could be
information
like
there.
another Dissidia game, Could be something like that.
Yeah,
Who knows?
which whatever. They're okay.
Yeah, but that's it for fucking news this week.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
So fucking slow this week for news.
But as we said, there is plenty of episode to
That's
follow.
true. Let's get to Final Fantasy IV, shall
Oh yeah, let's. He's holding on to her hair. He's like, woo!
we? Okay, so we do have a guest in here today. His name is Caleb. Can we say your last name?
Yeah, it's fine.
Caleb Craig.
What's up?
He is a roommate of mine and an old friend. Anyway, he beat Final Fantasy IV recently also.
Yep.
Not quite as recent as me, but
Being the most recent.
So for the first time in UFF history, we have a third person on the show.
Damn straight.
not the last.
Not the last time?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Maybe the last time for this guest.
Yeah, maybe. We don't like how you're acting right now, Caleb.
I'm
Caleb,
sorry.
stop. Hey, stop being belligerent.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So some development history on Final Fantasy IV, as we've been done with the previous 3 Final Fantasy games. Of course, we want to give you a good history about how this game came about. We talked about some of this during the Hironobu Sakaguchi episode, in which we talked about the development of Final Fantasy IV and his role in it. And we're gonna review some of that again. So yeah, originally after finishing Final Fantasy III, Square was set up to develop a Final Fantasy IV for the NES and a Final Fantasy V for the Super NES. But due to financial restraints, they scrapped the NES Final Fantasy IV for the Super NES Final Fantasy V project, which they of course retitled and became our Final Fantasy IV that we know and I think we love, right?
Yeah.
We know and love.
Yes, I do.
Okay. There was, in fact, a mock-up screenshot of the NES Final Fantasy IV that was released for a Japanese gaming magazine at the time. But other than that, nothing else is known about the game, save what Hironobu Sakaguchi stated, that some ideas were reused from the scrap project for the Final Fantasy IV that we, of course, know. And he said that the original Final Fantasy IV, the one for the NES, was 80% complete when they scrapped the project.
It was probably 6.
Yeah. It's probably
Yeah.
something sweet.
Oh man, 80%. That's a lot of work for that game went into there, and it's just done.
That
It's
seems
gone.
like a financial restraint, if anything.
Yeah,
They probably
just
could have finished
wasting all
it.
that money.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could have one more Final Fantasy by now. Isn't that interesting?
that would be cool. Who
Yeah.
knows?
So the goal for the development staff for 4 was to create an ultimate Final Fantasy game. The ultimate Final Fantasy part, no. The ultimate Final Fantasy game. It's a greatest hits, if you will, of the previous Final Fantasy games. It combined the story-driven aspect of Final Fantasy II and the job elements of FF1 and FF3, though of course we realize that it's way more strict in this version as far as the job
Which I enjoy.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The creators wish to make Final Fantasy IV into more of a linear story, much more dramatic and movie-like than other RPGs at the time. With this in mind, the game was designed to tell you where to go, much more than previous Final Fantasies or really RPGs. It was much less open world. At least it was open world, but the story really made you go to certain places, you know?
Right. I mean, there's always those extra areas, grabbing the summons and shit like that, but you don't ever have to go there. And the game is very good about saying, "Okay, now you go here." And
Right.
if you want to continue the story, this is what you got to do, which is nice.
Yeah, and it's what we're used to with later Final Fantasy
Oh,
games,
yeah,
that's
very
for sure.
much so.
I mean, 1 through 3, it was just like, oh, I gotta look at where to go, because I have no idea where the fuck to go.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 was a fucking good luck fest.
Yes. All right.
So they created a new battle system by Hiroyuki Ito. Instead of a turn-based system, he created the active time battle system, which we know and some of us love, including me mostly, in which party members had certain speeds and would attack and select actions in real time. Legend has it that Mr. Ito got the idea from Formula One racing as the type of car or character job, in the case of the game, would determine.
Right, and the game took roughly a year to complete and had a development staff of 14 people. Can you believe a game this big?
Isn't this awesome?
Only created by 14 people back in the day.
Yeah, well, the development teams for older games weren't that large.
I
mean,
guess.
most Final Fantasy games like earlier were maybe like 4 or 5
no,
people.
I think it was 7.
7
for the
people?
first one. Yeah,
Yeah.
7 for the first one. And another thing for like a small development staff, Mortal Kombat, I think, was 4 people.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 artists, a music guy, and the programmer. I
Yeah.
think that was it. So that's really interesting that we spend so much money on games now, and yet we have all these classic games that were just made by a few people. A few
Yeah,
people
it's
that
almost-
probably made a shitload of money.
Yeah, it's almost weird looking back. Like, you look at the credits now, and it's like a fucking 2-hour long thing for a
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto game, and for the Final Fantasy IV and beyond, or earlier than that, they're all like a handful of people. It's pretty crazy.
And the credits that we're used to having with these Final Fantasy IV versions is there's like they'll have the original staff credits, and
Right.
then they'll have the remake staff, and then they'll have like the translators, and some of those positions existed when it was ported over this way, but still just such a small development team. It was directed by Hironobu Sakaguchi. It had art by Yoshitaka Umano, which of course we know later on in the series he's a big name in the Square universe. Music, beautiful score by Nobuo Uematsu, and the game was programmed instead of by Nasir Gabelli, like the previous games. This was programmed by Ken Narita and was designed by a first-time designer named Takashi Tokita, which I'm having trouble pronouncing. Let's see.
the story was written by Sakaguchi, with the scenario written by designer Takashi Tokita, sorry, who said about the game that the theme of the project was going from darkness to light, which is sweet, and that brute strength alone isn't power. This is most prevalent during Cecil's change from a Dark Knight to a Paladin, obviously.
Of course. The original script was actually, according to Mr. Tokita, it was 4 times longer than the finished product. But due to cartridge limitations, most of the dialogue was cut and streamlined into the game we know today. In fact, what he said about the project is that there was just so much dialogue, and that he actually prefers how it is now, that it's a lot shorter and more streamlined. I mean, it was apparently the same story. They cut almost nothing out of the story. So what, we imagine this game being 4 times longer and is the exact same thing. And so, I think they made the right choice in that matter.
Yeah, clearly. I mean,
Though we do wonder there would probably be a lot more character development with 4 times the amount of time.
Yeah, I would imagine.
There's plenty of character development for an RPG in this game, though.
Yeah, there is. So it was released in Japan originally on July 19th, 1991.
We should have done this episode on July 19th.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's good timing. And it was released as Final Fantasy II in North America on November 23rd.
The renaming of the game was, of course, due to the previous 2 Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy 2 and 3. They weren't localized in time. And in order to maintain naming continuity, they named Final Fantasy 4 Final Fantasy 2, which of course is really fucking annoying when you're searching for game guides for Final Fantasy 2 online and you keep getting shit for Final Fantasy 4.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about any of that shit anymore.
Yeah, they finally retitled everything. Everything is available here except for, of course, the original version of 3. Or something that resembles the original version of 3 in 2D. That is unfortunately not available here.
It has been updated several times throughout the years and remains what many people say is one of the greatest games of all time, as it is often credited with creating the story-driven RPGs that we know today.
Yeah. Nintendo Power, IGN, and Fumatsu Publications have all ranked it among their list of greatest games of all time. What did you guys think of the game?
Well, I personally really liked it. The story development and the characters, and the change from Cecil's darkness to his paladin form was pretty awesome. And overall, the game just felt more story-driven than the other ones that I've played. And I don't know, it's really good.
Yeah. What'd you think, Schweiss?
It was way better than the last 3, that is for damn sure. I know I'm usually a little harder on these, and I will be a little bit on my version because some of the translation was just fucking lazy. Meteor, it was the meteor spell. It's like some meaty spaghetti lunch in a can. Get your meteos! And there was a lot of stuff like that. Now, thankfully, the script seemed fine. There wasn't, as far as I could tell, there weren't any issues with the actual story translation. It was just some of the spells and the items had weird names. But the game itself was awesome.
Of course, there is the famously mistranslated line of "You spoony bard," which they kept because people love that line.
Yeah.
Where Tella calls fucking what's his name? Edward. He's like, "You spoony bard."
Yeah. Pretty sweet. Pretty awesome.
Just a ridiculous line.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah. So let's see. I was gonna look up. Let's just go through the story a little bit, because this one is a story-driven RPG, and it's definitely, as we've said and we see, the story is so much more expanded than it was in the previous 3 Final Fantasy games. It takes after 2 a lot, because 2 had a big story, but it's even more with this one. It's just so much story, but it's also the gameplay is really good too. And I think it's really our first
legit Final Fantasy game.
Final Fantasy. It feels like Final Fantasy. This is Final Fantasy. I mean, we might as well fucking forget the first 3.
Already have.
I say that, I'm being a little facetious, but this is the one that really started it all. It was a huge hit. Everybody loved the fucking game, and it made way for the bigger games in the series that came out later, 6, 7, and on. Those amazing games. This is the one that started it, really. And I don't know. It's you begin as part of the Red Wings, and you have to attack the innocent people of Mysidia. Isn't that interesting that you, as a character, are attacking innocent people at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, it gives it a cool little spin on what we're normally experiencing in a game where you're always the hero, you're just the good guy.
Or you're like the innocent hero, and you're just finding yourself in a situation that's way above your head.
Right.
Which is usually what happens with these Final Fantasy
Right,
games.
but in this one you start out as a complete asshole and you're just slaughtering innocents.
Well, it's not that you start out as a complete asshole. Would you agree?
Yeah, he's not like a complete asshole. He's
But
like,
he is fighting for the wrong side.
Yeah, he's like doing the orders of his king. I mean, like he kind of has to do that shit.
And he actually questions the motive of his king, which of
Yeah.
course strips him of his rank, and him and his friend and battle buddy.
Yeah, Kane.
Kane, they interesting name, Kane. By the
Yeah.
way. They go and they have to deliver this package to the village of summoners.
Yeah, the mist.
And what happens when they open that package, guys?
Fucking bombs fly out of that thing and destroy everybody.
Yeah, they kill everybody.
Megadeth.
They kill everybody except for innocent little girl named Rydia.
Oh, and before that, in the cave, they actually kill her mother's Eidolon, which
yeah.
and it kills her mother at the
Yeah.
same time. So it's even more brutal.
It's really
like when
dark,
they actually
you know?
meet the girl, and she's like, "Well, my mom's dragon disappeared, and now she's gone too." And you're like, "Oh shit, we just killed her mom."
Yeah.
So, like, Rydia, in anger, of course, causes an earthquake, and then Cecil wakes up in a hospital. And then Rosa, of course, is Cecil's love interest. And she follows Cecil, but she gets sick. You remember this part?
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting, I feel, about this love story in Final Fantasy IV is that there's already a relationship.
Yeah.
That I don't think that's prevalent. Can you guys think of another time where that actually happens in the Final Fantasy games? Where
really.
a love story is not started during the game; it's it's before the game even starts.
7.
They're already
'cause
kind of
I
dating.
think the closest one would be the 7 with the Tifa and Cloud already being kind of friends.
well,
and-
I think they are. I think it's platonic at the beginning of 7.
Well, yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
Do you-
I guess it would be.
Do you think it's a romantic? I mean, maybe Tifa has a romantic interest for Cloud.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that's probably like the closest one to having it at the start.
Yeah, I think that's really just about it. That's really the only example of us having a love story, which the love story's already happened.
Well,
They
I
do
guess,
get married at the end.
Yeah, I guess in 13 you could count Snow and
It does kind of help as a storytelling tool to already have this love story, this character in place that the main character is going to fight for.
Yeah.
And so if you put Rosa in danger like she is when she gets sick or when she gets kidnapped,
Has more meaning.
yeah, it gives your character motivation. It gives Cecil motivation, definitely. So Rosa becomes ill, and Cecil and Rydia meet Tella, who is going to rescue or retrieve his daughter Anna from the castle. But before they could do that, the Red Wings attack. Oh yeah, so like Cecil runs away from his whole kingdom. I should probably say that.
probably.
He questions his king, and he leaves, and his king keeps going on the spree to get these crystals, of course. And Anna, unfortunately, Tella's daughter, is in one of the places that they attack. And of course, Tella is disappointed with his daughter, and he's trying to rescue him from this. I don't know. How would you describe Edward?
He's a bitch.
He's a bitch?
Yeah, like really, like one of his abilities is hide, which allows him to like leave the battle for a certain amount of turns, and he just fucking sits out there and still gets the XP, but like nobody could fucking hit him until he comes back.
Tella's mad that his daughter fell for a musician.
A shitty spoony bard.
The Spoony Bard.
Yeah.
What does Spoony mean?
Yes.
So Anna is killed by the Red Wings, which of course is the first. Actually, it's not the first death. We've talked about this.
Yeah, there were plenty of them.
It's one of the first death scenes, and it's a really harrowing death scene. And of course, Tella fights Edward, but they make up. Am I correct?
Yeah, with his beating him with a stick.
Yeah.
Tella leaves the party to seek vengeance on Golbez, And then the party finds a cure for Rosa. Let's see what else happens. And then they go to Fabul to protect the Wind Crystal. Of course, by now we know that Golbez, King Golbez, is after the crystals to get power.
Yeah.
Am I correct here?
No, he's not the king. He's just like he's like replaced Cecil as the head of the Red Wings.
Mm.
He has the other guy being the king.
And of course, this is where they meet Master Yang, Kung Fu Master Yang, who is a very useful member of your party. The Red Wings attack, and Kane appears as one of Golbez's servants. And this is the part where Cecil's like, what's going on with Kane? Like, he thought Kane was like, a good guy at this point.
Bro.
His best friend.
He thought he was his bro. And the fact that it's interesting because as a player, you're wondering this character's motivations. Not only that, but Cecil is wondering what the fuck is up with Kane.
He's like,
and you
freaking
find out it has to do with mind control.
Yeah,
Kane is apparently very susceptible to mind control. He has like a mind control allergy.
Yeah.
And every time there's mind control in the air, every spring, he gets the sniffles.
Yeah, he just gets affected by it immediately.
He gets the mind control automatically. Kane goes so many times in this game from mind control to not mind control. It's just kind of ridiculous.
It is, and I love his jump ability, so I'm always pissy when he gets fucking mind controlled again and he just punches you in the gut and walks off with your crystal. I'm like, what the fuck? I need you.
So, of course, that's what happens is that, Kane, he pretends that he's not mind controlled, or he's not mind controlled. I'm not sure if it's actually clear during a section of the game. And then, Golbez shows up and now he grabs your shit and runs away, right?
Yeah.
I think it was weakened by something. I can't remember exactly. So I think he was actually in his own mind, and then Golbez showed up, and he had all eyes for Golbez.
Yeah, it was weakened when Tella used Meteor on him and wounded him that one time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like when he sacrificed himself, the first sacrifice of the game.
Yeah. So Tella, when they meet Golbez, of course, Tella sacrificing himself, and this starts a spree of sacrifices.
Oh yeah,
throughout the whole game. Tella sacrifices himself.
The twins.
Then the two
Callum and
kids
Porum.
sacrifice themselves.
Fucking Yang sacrifices himself.
And Sid.
And then the interesting thing about all these sacrifices is they take it all back. Like initially when they were all dying off, I was like, God, this game is super sacrifice happy.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like Final Fantasy II because that's what happened in Final Fantasy II.
Yeah, everyone's like, all right,
four
fuck it,
people
I'll
die
go.
in a row.
Yeah.
For the party, of course. And so they're obviously taking when they made this game, they were taking cues from Final Fantasy II as far as its storytelling, but then of course they turned it around for most of them.
Yeah, most of it.
Tella's the only one who actually stays dead, so...
Yes.
I was kind of surprised when he did, too.
It's like, where's Tella? I was thinking about making it a bit today to the song Empty Chairs at Empty Tables, in which Marius from Les Mis is, of course, he's like regretting that all his friends died for this empty cause. But it'd be interesting if while Cecil was singing that, like everybody came in. They were like, no, we're okay. Actually, no, we're fine.
We just needed to motivate you by pretending to die.
Yeah, apparently.
And the Yang one is really funny because I was listening to one of the other guys who we know that's played through 4 recently, and he's got the CGI cutscenes with the voice acting, and I heard Yang in there dying when the airship blew up, and he was like,
And he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. I'm like, was he in there like faking it?
Okay, you know what? I wouldn't say he's fine. He's like in a hospital bed recuperating.
I don't remember seeing him in a hospital bed.
It was in the realm of the Adolians or whatever.
Yeah, it's like an
right?
optional thing that you can go find him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I found Sid, but I don't know if I found Yang.
Yeah. So also with Sid's sacrifice, I swear to God, the first time I played this game, I played like this fan translated version on an emulator, which of course we don't support playing emulated games. But I played this fan translated version, so there was a lot of language, like they said shit a lot, and like there was the part where Sid stands up to the Empire with his airship, and he sacrifices himself. He actually flips them off
As he's falling down.
as he's falling down. I thought it was so awesome. And then when he played this one, I was like, oh,
He doesn't actually do
not
it.
in there. So I never actually did the research to find out if that was actually part of the game or if the fan translation was just messing with the game.
I'm sure it was a fan translation.
Oh, but it
of
was so
awesomeness.
sweet. It was so sweet. Sid flipping him off would just have been so awesome. We forgot to mention that Cecil, of course, changes from a Dark Knight to a Paladin. He has a change of heart. He goes from being subject of this king to being a hero, and of course he does this by going up to the Mountain of Trials. Is that what it's called?
I think it was the Mount of Ordeals.
Mount of Ordeals. Sorry,
Ordeals.
means the same fucking.
Well, this
Well,
is an ordeal.
the Mount of Trials is actually a separate cave in the.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it's
You're
an
right, you're right.
optional thing.
And he goes up there and he has to face himself. Isn't
Yeah.
that really interesting?
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about that scene?
It was pretty sweet. I was kind of hoping he'd stay a dark character throughout the whole game because I enjoy the fact that it wasn't just the same as every other Final Fantasy where you're the good guy and you're like all holier than thou and you're fighting evil. It was kind of cool having like an evil guy. Well, a guy fighting for the evil side at least, and slightly dark.
We're gonna bring up the Oscar Schindler stuff again.
Yeah.
It's like he's with the German team, but yet he's working against him.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, but I mean, it wouldn't have made sense to continue fighting his own kingdom as a Dark Knight. Or a, you know.
It's always nice to have white magic later on.
Oh, yeah.
with the warrior.
Yeah. It's a necessity, Final Fantasy III.
Even though he doesn't learn shit for spells, but yeah, that part was pretty awesome when he had to you had to learn to not always fight through the means of the only way to beat him, at least in the remakes, was to just not fight, just to heal yourself and defend for a couple turns until the voice says, "Oh well, you defeated this darkness inside you and become a true paladin."
Yeah, of course this is supporting Tokita's theme of going from darkness to light, and that it's I don't know, it's just a really interesting way of doing a game like that.
Yeah, it's creating a real character as opposed to some of these other games where they're all just good or all just evil. It's nice
Right.
to have an actual human element.
And
with
of course,
the character.
later on with games like Fable and other games that take after that, you choose whether or not you're good or evil.
Right.
And of course, I don't think that would have happened if this game hadn't started it.
Probably
Or at least
not.
not as soon.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting stuff. So why did they go up to the moon? Do you guys remember? It's because of the dark crystals?
No, it's because there was apparently some power there that the Golbez wanted to rule the world.
Okay.
At least that's what they kind of made it seem like that was what was going on. And then you actually get to the moon, and then it's like completely different.
Yeah. So we talked about dark crystals the last time with Final Fantasy III, and they took the same thing from Final Fantasy III, where they had the light crystals and of course the dark crystals. And I'm sorry, I got this mixed up. The dark crystals are underground, right?
Yeah,
with the
they're,
dwarves and shit.
Yeah.
And that's of course where Sid's sacrifice and Yang's sacrifice happens, right? They all happen. Underground.
Yes.
In the battle at the Tower of Babel, I think. The base of it.
It's when Yang meets his fate.
And of course, this is also going with the Final Fantasy III thing, where they had more than one map, like world map, that you could explore.
Yeah.
Because in Final Fantasy III, you could explore not only the above ground or the floating continent, you could also go underwater and explore. And you couldn't go underwater and explore in this one, am I right?
No, there's no underwater, but
But
there was multiple maps.
but there was the underground, and then of course there was the moon.
Yeah, the fucking moon. I mean,
Tiny ass moon, but still.
Yeah.
it took Caleb here like 4 seconds to fly across it, like twice.
Yeah.
It has to scale, though. The moon can't be bigger than the
Well,
planet.
you don't know how fast the lunar whale is. Obviously,
Yeah.
the lunar
Yeah,
whale is
the-
a very fast ship.
Yes, with the misleading name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I giggled my ass off when I saw the name lunar whale. He's like, "What about the prophecy of the lunar whale?" And I'm like, "What?"
They're gonna ride a giant space whale
What
to
is
the
the
moon?
lunar whale? I didn't remember any of this from playing it the first time.
Yeah,
It's
I didn't either.
What's...
Some sweet boss.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Like, I thought lunar whale was going to be like some kind of a monster, and it turned out to be like a spaceship.
Yeah.
The lunar whale. It looks like Sin, or at least Sin's future design.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, it does kind of look like him.
And it comes out of the water and
Yeah.
flies around.
Destroy some city. Oh, no,
It doesn't do that. No. So, okay, we go up to the moon to track down Golbez from his power or whatever. I'm sorry, could you explain that again?
What they were doing on the moon is they were going to find these other crystals not other crystals. They were going to activate the crystals to get to some power or something. I don't.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look at why this happened because right now my mind's just skipping over it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking it up here. Okay, now I remember. It's actually so that because Golbez is being mind controlled too, right?
Oh yeah.
And so Zemus or Zeromus or whatever his name is,
It's Zemus at the time.
it's Zemus. He's making Golbez get all the crystals and taking it to the moon so that he can summon the Giant of Babel to destroy the world, so that the Lunarians can take over.
Yeah,
Was
at
that
least
one?
that's what was in the DS version.
And
They've,
then
added more.
Fusoya's role in it was to he keeps the Lunarians asleep. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're all like fucking asleep at this
Are
point.
they like
except
all?
For him.
Are they like all evil?
I don't know if they're all evil.
Just Zemus,
He's
maybe?
like protecting them from Zemus or something because
I
he's
don't
too
know.
powerful.
So yeah, they go to the moon, and of course from there they, the Giant of Babel is summoned. They go and they destroy the the Giant of Babel, and that's a pretty cool cutscene.
Yeah.
In my version, it was 3D,
Not so much in mine.
not so much in yours. And then of course they go back onto the moon to finally destroy Zemus. And by this time, Golbez is not under.
Yeah, he's no longer under
He's
the
no
mind
he's no
control.
longer under mind control.
Under the mindception.
Under the mind, exactly, mindception, because Golbez is of course or Cain is controlled by Golbez, and Golbez is controlled by Zemus.
Yeah, which is
Zemus,
cool
or whatever
because
his name is.
Zemus is asleep for part of this game. So like he's controlling shit from his sleep. So he's a badass, right?
Right.
And then he wakes up and then shit hits the fan extra hard.
And so they finally destroy Zemus, and all is well, and Rosa and Cecil get married, and then we find out that everybody's sacrifices was for naught because everybody's alive.
We find it out when they're battling
Yeah, that's,
the
that's true. They find it
the
beforehand,
giants.
but
Fucking all of a
Still.
sudden Yang is just like, all right, attack. He's in one of the ships, probably the one that blew up.
I thought it was interesting though. I noticed a lot of like things with Final Fantasy X. Not only the giant lunar whale looks like Sin, or Sin looks like the giant lunar whale, excuse me, but also the fact that they're all like praying at the end for them to like
Yeah.
for them to destroy the final boss, and that's exactly what happens at the end of Final Fantasy X. Is everyone's like, oh, like, and then it like helps defeat the bad guy.
Oh yeah, everybody sings.
And
I
that's-
remember that.
That
yeah.
same shit happens in well, they pray. I'm not sure if they're
Sing-along.
singing, but same shit happens in Final Fantasy IV right at the end.
I
would
doubt it's a song in 4. I just want whenever Edward starts playing his harp, like Metallica, to just like slowly come into the picture.
yeah,
Yeah, just like Enter Sandman just starts playing
That'd
like
be
super
sweet.
quiet, and then it gets louder as the notes reach you.
this is our prayer.
Yeah, and then Cecil. Well, no, Rosa in my version with the blockiness of it, she kind of looks like Dave Mustaine, as I mentioned before, and so like she'll start getting really pissed off
Really
and start doing a
jealous.
shitload of damage. Yeah, she's like, I should have been there.
I wrote 4 songs that showed up on their first album.
Yeah,
I'll be mad about it for the rest of my life, even though they're the worst Metallica songs.
yeah.
All right, so what do you guys think of the story overall? I mean, did you enjoy it? I mean, did you have problems with it?
I didn't really have any problems with it other than the constant sacrifices and then the
Of course.
like taking them back. I mean, like the fucking kids sacrificing themselves was pretty beautiful, and like they chose to be stone, which like Tella couldn't remove from them. but then
but the elder
magically,
can,
the elder, and there's no fucking way he's more powerful than Tella. So like, how the fuck are they like back? You know, it doesn't make any sense. But like overall, the game, like with the character development and his like actual wanting to be something more than just like a pawn and a dark knight for the kingdom is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I felt the story in Final Fantasy IV was easily the best out of the first 4 games, and probably the first 5 from what I've heard. But let's see, what did I have issues-wise? Edward kind of bugged me, but I think that...
bugged you?
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to bug you, though.
I think he was,
he's
yeah.
He's a little, he's
Spoony bard.
a spoony bard.
He's a pansy, but
Stop acting so spoony.
yeah. But that part kind of bugged me, and then the mind control thing was a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
mind
how-
control after mind control. After
Yeah,
mind control.
that and the sacrifices, I would say, are probably my only issues. And some of the bosses, like those 3 sisters, God, it's such a dickish boss. You know, they're like, all right,
I
let's
didn't have
cast...
any problems with them.
Neither did
Once
It
I-
was super easy.
Once I took out the fat chick, it was really easy. But I took out the little one first, and then the fat one kept rezzing her, and I was like, what the fuck? But the way they do it to you is just ridiculous to me. They're like, okay, reflect on
The way
us.
the Magus sisters give it to
and
you.
then, yeah,
yeah.
they give it to me very roughly, and I don't like it. The reflect to me is like an extra step, yet brutal. But yeah, I thought the story was really good. I mean, it was kind of like the beginning of some of the cheesiness when he turned from a Dark Knight into a Paladin suddenly, especially in the 3DS.
You thought that was cheesy?
In a way, the way he looked when he came out of it in some of the 3D
just the
versions,
visual
it's like,
of it.
yeah, it was like this
You
seems
don't
like
like the design of it.
it seems like the beginning of when it starts to get a little bit weird with Final Fantasy.
You think so?
Maybe, yeah.
So right at the beginning of Final Fantasy is when it starts getting weird.
No.
You might as well just
maybe.
accept it as a Final Fantasy thing. Is that
It
character
is.
design is like way skiwampus.
It is, yeah. But
Except in like 13, which is really conservative.
12 is they look like
Yeah.
people for the most part.
No, they don't. Fran does not look like a person.
Okay, everyone but Fran. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I mean, there was some issues with the scaling. Like when I first got to the moon, it was just fucking
you're talking
ridiculous.
about that. We'll get to the gameplay in a second here.
But overall, the game itself and the story was very good.
Yeah, I have the same feeling as both you guys. I feel like the story is really solid. Like this is really the start of like good, solid story Final Fantasy game. I did enjoy the characterization. I felt that Cecil, I mean, besides his change, I felt like he was a little flat, and Rosa too. I felt like they were both a little flat. Like we're just supposed to accept that they're the hero and the girl. I mean, Cecil more so, or less so. He's less flat. I think Rosa is a flat character. Like besides her motivations that she just loves Cecil, that's really all we know about her.
Yeah, that's true.
The two probably like characters that have the most anything are probably Kane and Cecil.
Kane and Cecil.
Yeah, because Kane struggles with his love for Rosa and also with the constant mind control, the mindception. And then Cecil's got to deal with Kane like trying to steal his girl and
maybe I
betraying him.
Maybe I spoke too soon about Cecil being a flat character.
I do agree with you with the Rosa though. There's not much there. I mean,
Yeah, she's kind of an empty. Not that she's empty-headed, definitely, but
there's not much to like
There's just
Rydia or
yeah.
Edge either.
no,
I feel like
parents.
I feel like Rydia and Edge both have a very distinct personality,
and they have a distinct motivation
And
for
they do.
following Cecil.
so I disagree with you. I think they're very. I think
Might
they're
not enjoy the characters.
fleshed out
as much.
characters.
Edge is kind of douchey at times, but he does have more motivation than Rosa. He's not just in love with Cecil, I think.
No, he clearly likes Rydia. The what, like 8-year-old Rydia just suddenly 16 or whatever.
Yeah, she comes up and she's like,
We'll say she's 18.
yeah, they age.
I don't care what she actually
It's
is,
Yeah.
legal now.
because we discussed her on our hottie countdown last week.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna. She's 18.
Yeah,
in our minds.
we'll stick with that.
If you guys wish to look up whatever real age is, I don't care. I just don't want to know. Just don't want to know. So your version added story to I almost said Zandy, which is which was Final Fantasy III's antagonist, but Golbez's story. Could you explain what they added to Golbez's story, because it's not in our versions?
Mostly it was just a kind of a cutscene at the end of the game where Golbez explains to Cecil that he was evil long before he was under the control of Zemus, which is a fucking lie, because in the, it shows you, what happens, and he's, trying to show off for his dad that he, can learn spells, and he still can't do some of them, and then, his dad dies randomly, and then, his mother dies giving birth to Cecil. And so, they... yeah, it's pretty intense. And then Golbez, hears this voice, and he's the voice is telling him, oh, Cecil, killed your parents, man. If he wasn't there, then you'd still have your parents around. You'd still be, with them.
So he's Cain being tempted by the devil.
It's Zemus fucking, controlling him from an early age. It's totally Zemus. And then... it fucking, convinces Golbez to just take baby Cecil and leave him in a fucking forest, and then just, fucking goes off. Yeah, he just fucking... And then, randomly, the king of Baron is, walking through this forest, and he sees this baby, and he's like, you know what? Let's take this guy, and then let's make him, captain of the Red Wings when it grows up.
Well, he, he's finds his child. He's like, well, I'm going to train him to be awesome. Instead of his crack whore mother, who obviously left him here.
Yeah, and you also find out Golbez's, name. His real name is Theodore.
Theodore?
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
wow.
He's no longer Mexican?
No.
Senor Golbez. That's what I thought, the whole game.
Hispanic name right at the end there.
Yeah, I was like, what?
All right, so and on that point, when we find out that Cecil and Golbez are brothers in just the regular one, there was that part in your version, Schweiss, where he stops and he turns around and he's he accepts that he's his brother right at the end there.
Yeah.
And it's weird. And you, Caleb, Craig, said that it looked like they were bullying him.
Yeah, it totally does, because if you watch the scene, they're like, but he's your brother, and he's kind of thinking about it. He's thinking about the bad shit that he's done, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if I've even still forgiven Cain for the shit he did. And then, but he's your brother, man. And they
and
keep
yeah, he's my brother. He accepts it.
And then he's like, brother. And then he's like, I don't know if I should accept your forgiveness because I don't deserve it. And then he's like, okay, I give in. I accept it.
Yeah.
At least in my version, he says some weird shit like that.
In my version, it seemed, at least when I watched it the first time, it seemed like he was just randomly accepting his brothership. He suddenly there's a connection there just because they were called brothers.
Yeah,
and he's oh, he's my brother. I love him. That kind of a
Yeah.
thing. It's what? What? He did all these terrible things. You didn't know he was your brother before. What? How does it make you suddenly close?
Yeah, it's
how does it make you suddenly care just because, you're brothers? I felt like that was a little lazy storytelling.
Might be Eskimo brothers, too. They had Rosa up on that ship for a while.
Oh, what?
Disgusting. You never know.
Well, if anything, it'd be Cain and Cecil are Eskimo brothers.
True. She does have a thing for Cain. I can see it. Just a hint.
Might get a little rapey, though.
Fan fiction time, maybe?
Oh, no, please, not right now. Fan fiction's for next week. And it's going to be 7 fanfic. We're going to continue with that other one. All right, so could you explain to me Zemus's motivations? Did we talk about this?
I kind of glossed over it a little bit when we were talking before. It does expand more in the story of the DS version. They say that the motivation for Zemus is for the Lunarians to populate the Earth, and for that, he wants to destroy everybody on the Earth currently. So, yeah.
They can't just live in harmony.
No, he just wants to fucking eradicate everybody on Earth.
Zemus is such a dick.
Yeah, he just wants this planet for the Lunarians. So, like, I mean, he's kind of a hero for his people, but I don't know, some people don't look too kindly on that.
All right, so let's talk about the gameplay. Of course, it's not a turn-based system like the other 3 Final Fantasies that we've played are. It is something else. Caleb, would you like to tell us about your experience just playing this game overall as far as gameplay goes?
I felt the gameplay. I've always kind of liked the active time battle more because it takes more skill overall. You got to know what you're going to go into the battle doing. You got to know what shit you're going to do. You know it. And I had some issues with it because I was leveling up, so I turned the battle speed up super fucking high. And then I'd forget to turn it down and go into the final battle, and he would just fucking cast the fucking, Big Bang over and over again on me and just rape me. But, so yeah, I mean, remember to turn that shit down again when you're not leveling up. But I felt the gameplay overall was pretty good. It was pretty solid as far as, you know, it kind of like we mentioned before, it mixes some of the earlier versions together. It kind of has some of the stuff with the job system in 3. You can't choose the jobs, obviously, but you earn spells for your casters as you level them up. And it is sort of a job level because of when Cecil resets from his Dark Knight to Paladin, he starts out at level 1 and you get like a shitload of experience for that first fight.
True, yeah.
So in a way, it is a job system. It's just one that you can't customize. So I enjoyed that. I enjoy leveling up Rydia and then suddenly having, you know, Meteo, which is what it is in mine, or Flare.
Yeah.
And yeah, what about you, Joe? How did you feel about
the gameplay overall?
Gameplay?
I felt like the active time battle, which of course they use for most of the Final Fantasy games.
It's about half and half,
up until about Final Fantasy X. From 4 to 10, it's active time or some kind of close variation to it. Where the bar is filling up. There's no bar in your version, but there is in my updated version. There's a bar that fills up, and at the end of that bar, of course, the characters attack, and each character type has a different attack speed. But they changed that for later games. They instead of making a character type, everybody has about the same base speed. In this one, like, summoners are slower, and then, of course, the more attack-centered guys like Kain or Cecil or Yang, they're, of course, much faster when they attack. The thing that I didn't like about the gameplay was the leveling up system was not balanced as the story went along. It just wasn't. You were talking about getting on the moon earlier. After being in the underground, there is a huge difference in how tough the underground guys are versus the moon guys, right? The random enemies definitely in those areas. And there is no warm-up. Like, the game, if it was a well-balanced game, it would go a little bit smoother. Like, the bad guys in each new area you would go to would just get a little bit more and a little bit more.
They would scale.
They would scale, and they would keep it challenging, but they wouldn't make it fucking impossible. When we first got to the moon, and we got to the moon on the same day because we were playing together, right?
Yeah.
Or just like on 2 separate systems in the same room. We got to the moon on the same day, and just our party couldn't live through one battle.
Yeah, it was
on
rough.
The fucking moon. Like, we were able to get to that point without having any problems. Then the first time you get to the moon, you're just fucked.
Yeah, and I mean, I've mentioned this in previous titles. I don't mind leveling up, grinding and leveling up for a boss fight, but if I can't even level up in the area that I'm supposed to be in the game, there's an issue with the development of it.
Now, other people might look at what we're saying as like, well, you just failed to do extra stuff, and that's fine, but like you should be able to
do the extra stuff.
You should be able to just go through the story. Well, there's even more extra stuff that we didn't explore, I promise you.
I did most of the extra stuff that I could in the DS version, such as, like, I went and got the Ashura and Leviathan. I even went back to Earth and, like, got the I got Odin and did all of that
Odin.
stuff, like leveled up as much as I could. And my guys were like level 55 at this point. Like I could just demolish anything like previously. And then I get to the moon and fucking shit, I get slammed by these dudes who just do nothing but fucking poison me and just constantly attack me. And my version was like the hardest one because like everybody has like 1,000 more fucking hit points than they should. So it was taking me forever to do this. And I was like, what the fuck? So I had to like each battle that I fought on the moon, I had to like go back to the lunar whale and heal myself until I could actually fucking like kill these guys until they became super easy. And I did this repeatedly. And then I went into the caves. And the enemies were even slightly harder, and it was like a bunch of bullshit scaling.
Yeah, the way that we leveled up later in the game, instead of leveling up on the moon, even though they're great experience, they take for fucking ever to kill, and they're really hard, and likelihood that one of your characters is going to die. We decided, at least me and Caleb Schweiss here, we decided to level up in the underground until our characters were strong enough for the things on the moon.
So what we did was there's this guy, he's called like Summoner or something like that.
Yeah, Summoner or Conjurer, depending
Conjurer,
on your
yeah. And he would summon this butterfly. And Joe and I both exploited this. Me, not as quite as much, but I still exploited the shit out of it. We would cast Mini on the Conjurer, so he would do like 1 damage each physical attack.
I didn't actually cast Mini, but you did.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
Okay, it was beautiful because then I had to just pray with Rosa, and every 4 times it would actually run through and heal me all the way again. But I would cast that on him, and I would have everyone but Rosa and Cecil either dead because I'm sick of pressing the buttons all the time because the memory function in the PlayStation 1 version does not work. It's a memory function for the menu items, which is fucking retarded. I don't know why you'd ever need that, but that's what it is. And so I'd either kill him off or just have him parry, and then I'd have Cecil attack the butterfly, Rosa cast Prey, and then he would summon a butterfly up again, and I would just keep killing the butterflies over and over and over again.
Right.
So what
and
did
they were
you
3,200 experience each time. You
Yeah,
killed
so
one of
it-
those butterflies
There were a few times where I leveled up 2 or 3 times in one sitting before I
in one
accidentally
battle.
killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So-
what about you?
The reason why you did that, I should tell the listeners, is because I did it first. But here's how I found out about it. I went and I was looking up ways because I was fucking stuck on the moon. I was like, where's a good place to level up? So I Googled that, right? And then I saw the level up page on Final Fantasy Wikia. And in Final Fantasy IV, in the Final Fantasy IV section, it goes, oh, there's this trick you can do on these summoner guys, and every time they summon a monster, you kill the monster, and you can just keep killing that monster, right? And so if you get the timing correct, you cast haste on the summoner so that it'll keep doing it's fucking summoning really fast, and then you cast slow on your own guy so that the timing will be perfect so that he'll never go back and target the summoner, right? And then have Rosa keep casting Prey because they don't do enough damage to really take you down so long as you start attacking really early on. And then the other guys defend. There is this fantastic system in the complete version of Final Fantasy IV, and in your version, if I'm the DS version also
the
has
DS
this.
one.
It's called Auto Battle.
Which is like the greatest thing ever.
It's the greatest thing of all time, I'm pretty sure. So whatever the previous functions you did for each of the characters, right? You select whatever their attacks are, whatever their previous functions were.
Yeah.
If you press auto battle, they will keep doing the same exact thing over and over again. So I had everybody in the party defend except for Cecil, who would take down one of these hell flappers, I think they're called.
Yeah.
In one hit. And then the summoner would, of course, summon another one. And then Rosa kept casting Prey on the entire party. So whatever little damage they were taking, they would eventually be healed by Prey. And I just let the game play itself. And one night, the night that I found out Auto Battle existed, and I wish I had known this the whole goddamn game, how could I have never accidentally pressed the select button during the whole fucking game? But I accidentally pressed the select button. And it was like auto battle. It said auto, and I was like, what? This is amazing. And it just like kept attacking, and of course it sped up the speed of the game. And so I was like, yes, this is because I knew about the butterfly trick or the hell flapper trick or whatever it's called. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. And so I don't know, it must have been like midnight, and I just put the game. I found a battle with the summoner thing. And if you're playing for it, it's in the Adolians area. Is where you find these conjurers or summoners or whatever they're called. And and I just got in a battle with one of those things. I did that, and I pressed auto battle, and then I left my PlayStation alone.
Yeah, I actually like found this thing. Like I had gotten up and I heard like noise coming from his PSP, thinking that he just like left it on like a dick, and just like because he had it plugged in too, so it wouldn't die. And I heard music coming from it, and I was like, "What the shit? Did he just leave it on?" So I like pressed a button to see what was going on, and I immediately saw that like his guys were constantly just healing themselves and attacking this enemy. And I was like, "Oh my god, that fucking bastard!" And like he came out of his room, and I like just looked at him, and he looked at me, and he like knew immediately that I knew what he had done, and the look of pure guilt was beautiful.
There's no other way to find out what max XP is for a battle, though.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is 1 point short of 2 million, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like max gil too.
So how many times did you level up doing your?
I leveled up
Fuckface
roughly 20 times. I went from about level 50 to level 70.
And then you
With
dominated
Cecil.
the rest of the game?
And then I went straight to the final boss.
Yeah.
And fucked it.
See, I think
I didn't
that's-
even do that extra stuff in that last dungeon. I just went straight for the final guy. I went straight to Zemus.
And I did the extra stuff. I kind of, as I'm going through these, I kind of want to grab the extra items if they're on the way.
Do you feel like what I did was cheating?
I think it was cheap-ass. A borderline cheat, yes.
Borderline cheat.
Yeah, I mean, we both kind of manipulated it similarly, but I actually had to do micromanaging, and you could just go to sleep. Now the thing...
You think I was actually having trouble sleeping that night because I'm like, the whole night I was like thinking about it. I was just so excited for the leveling up of the next day.
Oh, well, I'm sorry then. You weren't sleeping.
Yeah,
Forgive
me.
me.
Dude, it was really tough. Okay?
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
even know.
No, what mostly what gets me pissed off about this is the fact that you're like, dude, you're gonna beat the game in time. We have a podcast, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have a fucking auto battle system, so I don't fucking know. I'm gonna have to work for it. So that was mostly what was shitting me off about it. But it's funny because you gave a lot of shit to the Gambits in 12 when we talk about 12 outside of the podcast, and this is like Gambits on steroids, man. This is way fucking worse.
Just set set the battle speed to 1 and then just go for it.
Just
man.
fucking assault.
Oh, it was so beautiful. Like waking up in the morning and just like I'd keep pressing the thing and their name would keep pressing up. Cecil leveled up. Cecil leveled up. Cecil leveled up. Cecil. And then it would go to Rosa and be like, Rosa learned this. Rosa learned this. Rosa learned holy. And then it's like, yes.
Yeah. After that, it's
just destroyed the final boss.
Yeah.
Just raped it.
And he was rough on me. I had to actually. Last night I was trying to top the game off at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. I finally ran in and was able to grab all of the ultimate weapons for everybody except. No, I think I got everybody's. Yeah, I did. And I go in there and he just lays waste to me over and over again. And part of it was because, like what I mentioned earlier, I'm a fucking moron and I forget to turn the battle speed down because I've been leveling up for like an hour, and then I go in there and then he just fucking big bang, dead. So that was a little rough, and I had to level up for like an hour and a half this morning, but then I was able to take him out too. Once Big Bang casted twice would kill most everybody, I was able to win. But when it killed everybody, there was no fucking way.
Right.
And I was about level... I think Cecil was like 64, 63, something like that.
That high?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't think I needed to level up that high, but I spent like an hour and a half.
I think it was your strategy on the last area. I think
Well,
that's what your problem was.
Part of it was the battle speed, and then also you're right. I would attack with.
You got too impatient.
Yeah, I got too impatient, and I wouldn't wait for him to attack me to use Rosa's attack, and sometimes
A Rosa's Cure.
I would just parry with her, and then he would do his big attack, and then he would do his big attack again before Rosa had a turn. So this time I just let him hit me, and then Cure 4 or Curaja or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, you were of course playing the version
lazy
that most
version.
of us know, and we're gonna get into version differences in a second
Yeah.
here. But first, I want to hear what your experience was with the gameplay of this Final Fantasy IV. I've heard that the DS version is in fact the hardest version.
Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement. It's a pain in the ass when everybody has like an extra 0 added onto their HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you like still do the same amount of damage. There's just, an extra 1,000 or so for every enemy. So
Extra 1,000? You mean 10,000?
the extra 10,000, yeah.
Okay. Well, you're adding an extra 0.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain in the ass. I mean, every time I ran into a fucking behemoth, it was like a mini fucking boss battle because, like, they changed the attack script on those guys. So, like, anytime that I hit them with a spell or a summon, they would immediately cast a move that's like Twister that would, like, bring my guys down to, like, double digits. Which
they did something similar in my version.
Yeah,
it wasn't as bad, though.
Yeah, it's a fucking pain in the ass when they do like 1,000+ damage with their basic attacks. But thank God for Blink and Slow, the two greatest fucking spells for
I hardly had to use them.
I don't even know why they didn't like they made all the enemies more vulnerable to those spells like in this game, but oh my god, they were super useful. Like, Blink made it so that I was unaffected by physical attacks from any enemy for, like, 3 hits. And so, that was the greatest spell I ever discovered for those fucking bastards.
Just Blink, huh?
Yeah, like, those freaking battles took me, like, 5 minutes each guy. Like, even when I had to level up...
Or the behemoths that you have to fight, the ones that you can't run away
the behemoths
from?
Yeah, like, I even had to
those
fight...
Those were in my
like,
game.
Yeah, but they were fucking pain in the ass for me, because, like, they were, like I said, mini boss battles. They were fucking dicks. Like, and any time I hit them with a physical attack, they would immediately counter with a physical attack, no matter what. Like, this is a no matter what fucking behemoth. Like, no matter what you do, it will fucking attack you. Like, that's why I had to slow him down so he just didn't regularly basic attack me. Because, like, those blinks were constantly going back up. Because, like, they were just wear down. Because, like, I'd hit him with a basic attack with Cecil, and then he would, like, counter me. And then he'd regular attack me, which took down 2 of my blink hits. And I was like, oh god, it's gonna go down again.
I think I only had to use Blink for, like, one. I think I had to use Blink for, like, the wall that was approaching you. I think that's the only thing I had to use Blink
The
on.
wall immediately killed my guys. Like when I fought the wall guy, there was no physical attack. There was nothing. He just fucking killed whoever he attacked. Like, I had to constantly revive dudes.
Yeah, the wall with me was also a giant pain. Like, I forgot about that until you brought it up, and I was like, oh yeah, that fucking thing. It wouldn't immediately kill me, but it would get closer, like, super fucking fast, and then it does its I can't remember what the attack is, but a crush. It just crushes your character, and they're just dead immediately. And there's no reviving. Like, you do not have time to bring people up. And also, with what Caleb was saying, with the extra digits added on to the HP, I totally believe it, because there were boss fights where I'd tell him where I'm at in the game, and he's like, oh, good luck, and I just rape the thing. And then he would be over TeamSpeak. He'd be over TeamSpeak like, what the fuck? That's bullshit. That guy took me forever. I was like, hey, it was easy.
Yeah, like, each of the bosses, I think, took me, like, 2 or 3 times to beat each time. Like, there was no fucking, easy... There's no fucking easy boss for me. Like, the only one that I think I beat the first time was the wall, because slow is the greatest fucking spell on the planet. And I was
slow on that wall.
Yeah, I was warning Caleb and Joe about Cognazo. He's
Cognazo?
Yeah, he's like the first water archfiend guy that you fight. And, like, that guy killed my entire party with, like, one move, because it, like, it has, like, a death effect on it. Right. And he just fucking insta-killed, like, my entire party. And, like, so I had to fucking cast, like, lightning abilities on him all the time to get rid of the water stuff. And then I was like, good luck on that fight. And then Joe fucking kills him in, like, 2 hits. And I was like, what the fuck?
You were in the room when I killed him, too. I was like, yes!
It was fucking bullshit because I had like
I complained about Cocknuzzle on the last episode, but actually, no, I died to him once.
Oh, did
because
you?
I didn't like.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't realize
you
how to
didn't
kill
know.
him.
Yeah,
and then it turns out to just be like a elemental thing.
fucking
Whatever.
bullshit. Like it took me 4
The
times to
guy
kill
before
that guy.
him. Do you guys remember what the name of the boss? before him
Bacon?
was?
Yeah, Bacon
Oh,
was
Bacon.
easy for
Bacon.
me. He was the only one that
Bacon
was
was
easy.
a piece of shit for me. I was
He
like,
was a bitch for me too.
I was like, what the fuck? I can't. Like I think I beat him with just like one guy barely alive.
I think that's how I beat him too, but like fucking slow, greatest spell. Like I said, it like slows him down a lot, and then like with my blink combination, he barely attacked me, but he still like had the status effects, which are more apparent in the DS1.
Okay, so mine and Schweiss's gameplay time was both about 25 hours, right?
right. I
How
probably
mu-
had about half an hour with the final. Well, 10 minutes because the
Yeah,
final
whatever.
cutscene shouldn't count.
In the 25 area. How long did your game take?
Mine actually took me around 37 hours.
Oh my god.
The constant leveling up that was needed, like the it was I think 4. Like no matter what remake you're playing or version you're playing, you need to level up a lot. And my guys at the end were like level 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's pretty sick. Mine were 70, but of course that was because I slept.
yeah, that's
and
because
they
you like
leveled up
bullshit
through the night.
cheated.
Honestly, I only had like 19 hours of real gameplay time because 6 of those hours was me being asleep.
I mean, I also had auto battle, and that helped me through a lot of leveling. But like, there's I would have destroyed.
You couldn't do the same. You couldn't. Do the same
I don't
trick.
think so. I would have destroyed them like instantly.
Yeah.
It would have been too fast.
I was looking up things about that trick, and I don't think your version is made for it.
Yeah, I think there might even be
Which
a
is too
cap
bad.
on that.
Too bad for you.
Yeah, fucking bullshit.
So let's go through the differences. There's so many differences
Oh yeah.
between the many different versions of released of Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, Final Fantasy IV is
not-
probably the
not
most
just-
remade one,
Right,
too.
right. Not just title differences
Yeah, not just title differences.
from being Final Fantasy IV to being Final Fantasy II to being Final Fantasy. I think they were gonna call it like Final Fantasy Extreme. Maybe that was Final Fantasy V. that they
yeah,
were
this
gonna
is
call
a
Final Fantasy
4
Extreme.
podcast.
Yeah,
4.
yeah. So I see a bunch of stuff written down there. Why don't you track us through it there, Caleb Craig?
All right. Well, the first, I'm gonna go through each version of each game, like, cause there's like 7 different versions.
It's different from the original one that was released.
Oh
right?
yeah, this is from the like the differences from the original game that was the Japanese one. So far, the first ones for the North American and Easy type release were that they removed Protect, Shell, and Dispel, and Ashura no longer had Protect ability in her attack script when she was summoned.
This was
Or,
the
yeah.
original one that was released in North America. The Final
Yeah, the
Fantasy
North
II
American
that we
one,
know.
yeah, and also the Easy type release that they released in Japan.
So it's a port of the Easy type from Japan.
It's also like these are changes that were made for both the Easy type and the North American
Oh,
because
okay, all right.
they're slightly different.
All right.
Which is weird.
So are you saying that the original Final Fantasy, okay, we're gonna say it now, Final Fantasy II, that we saw on the Super NES,
Yeah.
that was actually an easier game than the original Japanese one?
Very much so, yes.
Oh. I think what we've been playing has been, me and you have been playing, is much closer to the original.
Much,
right?
yeah. They added everything back,
But
and
Schweiss
a
was
little.
playing something closer to the
Yeah,
type.
his was the PlayStation one was actually a mixture of the Easy type and the North American release with some other changes.
So we're not sure about the difficulty
Don't be
level.
confused about the easy addition to that.
Well, it is you playing it, so
Yeah.
Come on. Just because I don't have the Jew bag fucking cheat. You playing it.
Also, every
I'll say
like
that racist stuff on my podcast.
all the
It's ours.
the status elements, like Toad or Silence, also had corresponding items, like the Maiden's Kiss and the like Echo Herbs or whatever.
Right, items that we're used to.
Yeah,
playing.
they were all like removed and replaced with Remedy, which they had Remedy in the original game, but it was
more Remedy.
Yeah, it was just like harder to find in the original one because it cured everything.
Right.
But they just
It's a
made
good
it.
item.
Yeah, they just made it more apparent.
There are
in the-
like certain Final Fantasies remedies are really easy to come by,
Yeah,
and
and
other
then-
ones are really hard to
yeah.
come by because they're really good items.
Yeah, they just remove fucking everything.
Right. Asuna without
Yeah,
using
like,
up 30
yeah.
AP.
Also, they removed some attack items like Spider Silk, which was also my best friend in the DS version, because it casts slow. So Rosa wasn't the only one who could cast slow, which was awesome.
Yeah, that must be nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. But they removed that for the easy type game, which is weird because you'd think that you'd use those.
And I also had that in my version, so mine's... I don't know what the hell mine is.
Yours is just the bastard type.
Yeah, it's the bastard version. They were also like lowered the cost of certain items, like
For the easy type?
Yeah, for the easy type and the North American. Also, several weapons were improved. Like
Really?
They made them a lot better than they were in the original game.
Wow.
Also, like the abilities that each character had, they basically just removed them all. So,
Nice.
like Tella's Recall and Rose's Prey, just couldn't have those. Which was kind of weird because, that's kind of part of a job class thing. Also, the Dark Knight's HP was increased to 65,000 because in the original game, you could actually kill him because he only had 3,000 HP. And with just a little perseverance and healing, you can just take him out.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would kind of go against the theme of you don't always have to fight.
Yeah, that would very much so.
And then there was also a developer's office in the original game that you could visit in the Dwarf's Castle. That you could go and talk to the developers of the game and even
Nice.
battle some of the drones.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I actually found it in the DS version because they put it back in, but it was like the DS developers.
No.
Yeah, I got to fight it Toady, though. He was like a skeleton guy, skeleton programmer.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like actually a hard fight. He'd cast status ailments and stuff to like make him make me feel as bad as him while he was programming the game. That was a pretty sweet Easter egg. And there was also for the easy type only release, the several names and weapons were changed. The names of enemies and weapons, they just kind of changed them.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in mine too. Like there was no Phoenix Downs; it was just life, an item.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of shit like that with my version, the names. So I definitely saw that.
Also, with the easy type version, they changed some sprites. So of the enemies, and I think even of the characters a little bit. So that was kind of strange. They also changed some of the spells. The spells were numbered instead of having suffixes like Blizzra or Fyra.
And that's how it was in my version too.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
Fire
Cure
1.
3. Yeah, Fire
Yeah.
1, Fire 2.
Also, another weird thing for the easy type, they changed the attack scripts for some of the enemies, which actually made them harder than their original versions.
Easy my ass.
Yeah, so it's like, this is supposed to be an easy version.
I don't know if they know what easy means over there.
Yeah, they just have like hard and harder.
Yeah.
And then there was
Reminds me of my
the,
cock.
Yeah.
and there was also the North American release, which actually changed a few more things. They actually removed the religious stuff from the game.
They did that for the other Final Fantasies too, like beforehand, like in Final Fantasy 1 and 2, I believe they had like crosses above the buildings.
Yeah.
And then they removed those.
Yeah, like for this one, they changed the what was it? Holy Spell was changed to white.
To white.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
just white.
Well, it's back to holy in the other version.
Yeah,
of
it's
course.
back to holy. And then they changed the Tower of Prayers in Mysidia to the Tower of Wishes. So
Nice.
instead of praying for them to beat the final boss,
It's the
they
wishing
they
wall.
just wished for it.
That's
Really,
actually-
really hard.
That's actually kind of funny to me, but
Yeah. And then the PlayStation version that Caleb played, they added the ability to dash in towns.
I do believe in fairies. I do.
Yeah, they added the ability to dash in towns and dungeons, as well as added.
What the fuck is a Final Fantasy without the dash?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. What do you mean a set running speed? Bullshit. Dude, I always set mine to like auto dash. I go into my like settings and I'm like, no, I press the X to slow down. That's what
I actually did that too.
Of course.
The option.
Yeah,
Did you just see my dick?
No, I didn't.
No, okay, never mind. Sorry, I just whipped it out, guys. You guys at home just whipped it out. No,
He just wanted to show it
Actually,
off for us.
I was I got like pajama pants on, and of course they got the big gaping crotch hole. Which what the fuck is that made for? Does anybody know what the crotch hole is made for? In, like,
I
underwear
believe
or
it's
anything?
for peeing.
Well, you can turn it around and just take a dump. Probably.
Just turn it around. You have to take them off first. They're not a skirt.
It's not logical by any means.
Nor is it an easy process.
I remember because fucking our friend. Okay, I'm not gonna say his name just because it's gonna embarrass him. Our friend. A mutual friend of ours used to think that the hole was made for peeing, and so when he would like go to the urinal, he would like just like go in and claw his way out. You know what I mean? And like, I was like, no, man, you just unzip and you pull it down. And he's like, oh, like I had to teach him that when we were kids. I don't know, it was like ridiculous. Anyway, it's really good. I guess it's for breathing. I guess so that your penis can breathe in the air and bring it into its lungs or whatever. Right? Penises have lungs, right?
Probably.
Am I right? You anatomy people know, right?
Yeah.
The lung function of the penis. So yeah, I was just messing around with that area, and I thought I think my penis poked out for a second. And you look down. I thought you might have seen it, so that's why.
It's like a periscope. It's just checking stuff out.
All right. Anyway, back to the changes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Not Joe's dick. Okay.
Even though we could have a whole podcast about that.
Probably.
Very short, brief.
Hey, now.
Just like his penis.
A very, very long, girthy podcast. No, you're right. It's tiny.
All right. Anyway, also with the PlayStation version, they allowed for memo saves on the PlayStation's RAM.
Lies. Okay.
Not a real memo save.
No. See, the memo save that you know and love is dead. In mine, I have the option to memo save, but it's only in areas where I can regular save. So the only reason I would ever memo save is because the regular save takes like 30 seconds to save the game, and at that rate, it's already not even worth it to memo save because I can't just do it right before a boss. So, lies.
Yeah,
for
it's
whatever
not a real
article you
memo
read.
save. Memo save from Final Fantasy 1 and 2 is the real memo save.
It's
It
still called a
says
memo,
memo
save.
save.
Yeah, it's still a memo save. The other things were that it had a rewritten translation.
They all have rewritten translations.
Yeah, they
so.
basically all of them. Every other one essentially has a rewritten translation.
It's funny. I might as well just bring this up now. I was looking into my settings menu for my game, my Final Fantasy IV Complete, and I noticed that I could actually change the language, which was something that I think we talked about on this podcast before. I want the option in my Final Fantasy games to be able to listen to it in its original language or in any other language I want. In this case, it had the options were for my game. It had the English one that, of course, I was playing. There was French and there was Japanese. And I was just thinking how awesome it would be to be able to play all the Final Fantasy games in French, especially Final Fantasy X.
With the voice acting.
Because of the voice acting and the laugh scene, I think would be just sweet in
Shock
Final Fantasy
laugh.
X. I think it would be great if, like, the stereotypical French laugh during the laughing scene where they're like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
I just want that to be the case.
That might actually make that scene more bearable.
That's true. It might. It's not even bearable. Like, I watched it in Japanese and it wasn't as funny, but it was like still like
Still awkward.
Yeah, it's still awkward. Of course, the scene is supposed to be a little bit awkward, I guess. We're gonna have to discuss whether or not that scene is supposed to be that way when we get to it. All right, keep going, Kev.
All right, the last change for the PlayStation version was that it was bookended by videos, like
Right.
sequences from the game in like 3D-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. I thought it was going to have like a totally different video. Like it would be like the wedding scene.
Yeah, like,
Just in like 3D. But instead it was just like a recap of shit
like
that happened in the
recap
game.
of stuff. We actually like just watched it. So
Yeah, we just barely watched
Yeah,
it.
it's like last time on Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, exactly.
now that you've ended, we're gonna like recap you with stuff that just happened.
Right. It had the sacrifice scene, which was cool in 3D.
Yeah.
You notice that the I swear to God, like the cutscenes that they did for 5 and 6 in the anthology, so much better than the 4's cutscenes for Final Fantasy Chronicles. It just, I don't know, it seemed like a rush job for those ones, didn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, like the movement wasn't very smooth, and the character design was really simple.
Yeah, and I mean, we touched base on this before. It's probably just thrown in for all those 7 and on fans to go back and be like, oh, it looks similar. And then
yeah.
you get in gameplay and you're like, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But the videos, it's still kind of nice to have a little cutscene, but nothing crazy by any means.
All right, so what's our next difference?
All right, the next difference is the Wonder Swan version of
Wonder
Final
Swan
Fantasy
color?
IV. Yeah,
The one that we're never gonna play.
yeah. It's basically the same as the Game Boy version. They just changed some of the sprites and the portraits and the music to match the lower quality system.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one of the. They also added a quick save for the Wonder Swan version, and they also changed some of the landscape. Like they changed the Antlion's Den to be a grassy area, and then the area around Fabul to be a desert.
And they changed those.
Yeah, they
for
just changed them back,
reason.
like in later versions.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
Okay.
nothing.
That's dumb.
Yeah. And then the Game Boy changes were the graphics were from the Wonder Swan were improved because obviously it was a better thing.
Yeah.
And then this was actually the first version of 4 to have the attack bar gauge
Right.
and
Like the active time battle gauge that
like
fills up
it like
that
it shows you
that we're of course
when-
used to from the rest of the series.
for the rest of the series, it like kind of added that from the rest. And then it had a semi-new translation from like the other versions.
Yeah.
It's like a mixture of the PlayStation 1 and then just added some stuff, I guess.
Okay.
And then they allowed for party member switching in the game, so the sacrifices didn't fucking matter
Right.
in the Game Boy one because you could just switch back to those characters that you'd already been after you'd gotten
Yeah,
like,
you
more
can do that in my
characters.
version. You
Yeah,
can,
they
you can
kept
go to
that
a
for
certain
the-
town and you can switch them like the game tells you can do that.
Yeah,
I never did it. But
Yeah, they kept that for the PlayStation 1, which is kind of dumb, don't you think? That you
Yeah.
could just like
I don't know.
it made
They should be sick in bed.
yeah, they should just like there's no reason for them to still like be doing stuff.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, and they also added like new dungeons for the Game Boy version, which is kind of cool. to
Yeah,
do
the
extra
dungeon at the
stuff.
end of the game that like opens up. It's for all the characters to like have their own improvements, kind of like Cecil did when he turned into the paladin.
Yeah, I
It's
guess,
supposed to
yeah.
be like a continuation of that. And I was reading up development history, and I failed to put this in the development intro. But the scenario writer he said that was something important from the game that they had cut when they had cut it down to 1/4 the size of the original.
Is that everybody was going to
the
get a
original
change
story,
like that?
Is that they were going to have something like that. So at the end of the game, when you beat it in the, I'm assuming it's still in the advanced version, but in the complete version, there's a new dungeon opened up just for that.
Yeah,
reason,
that was one of
which
the new
I haven't
dungeons.
explored, but I know it's there.
Yeah, it's in one of the new dungeons in the Game Boy one. Also, they added a music player and a beastery for the
Bestiality.
yeah
Bestiary.
bestiary. I don't know what you fucking call it. Anyway, yeah, they added those for the Game Boy one, so you could like re-listen to the music, which is pretty cool because 4's got some really good music.
Yeah, it does.
Also, there was some bugs in the Wonder Swan version that they like fixed for the Game Boy one, but doing so had created like other bugs.
Yeah.
And it was just like some messed up stuff, but they fixed those for the PSP one.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because the PSP one's amazing.
PSP one is basically a port from the Game Boy one, just with like updated graphics and half translation from the DS one, which is weird. All right, and then we move on to the DS one, which is what I played.
The biggest
Yeah,
change.
it probably
They redid the
they
entire game.
Yeah, like it was in 3D. They added voice acting. They added the party switching is gone from the Game Boy because they felt like that was retarded, I guess. But they brought it back for the PSP one, which came afterwards.
Right. Well, the PSP one, I feel like the DS was like an experiment, right? It was like, okay, we'll update Final Fantasy IV with voice acting, and so it'll be kind of like what people want them to do with 7. And so it's like an experiment as far, and of course they redid number 3 like that, but with 4 it's like even more cinematic, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a precursor to what they're going to eventually do with the series, I'm sure, is just make everything in 3D and with voice acting and update the graphics and whatever. So it's kind of an experiment that way, but the PSP version, of course, it has After Years, it has Interlude that goes in between the two. It's like, this is the version that I was saying this before, this is the version that you would pass down to your grandchildren. Like, this is the one, this is the pristine.
The prime version
yeah,
of 4.
this is the prime version, and I'm telling you, man, it's so smooth, it looks so good, it has a couple 3D cutscenes that are really cool just to have there. I've never felt a Final Fantasy game that played so smoothly, and it's like, everything that they did with 4, they streamlined it. They had all these versions beforehand. They made a really good translation. I had no problems whatsoever with the translation of the version I was playing, and it was just perfect. I'm telling you, the version that I play, I mean, besides the like actual flaws of the gameplay that we talked about before, that are in every version, it is perfect. I'm telling you.
It would be a one to move on with because it has the interlude and the After Years.
Yeah, and the design is all 3 of the games are supposed to match each other. Interlude, After Years, and 4. They're all supposed to match each other in this version. So it's like the version of Final Fantasy IV
I just kind of wish though that they would like bring it from the PSP because it's now a dead system.
Right. Yeah.
So like maybe bring it to the 3DS or the PS
Steam.
Vita or Steam. Bring it onto the computers, which would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Also, the DS one, I really enjoy the DS one. It would also be one to play, even though it's more difficult. But the spells are funner to use.
How do you mean that?
Well, it's just that they actually have a function, like you said, that you guys never even used, blink or slow or anything. Which it's kind of sad that you can't really use those if they don't have a point.
Well, we can use them, and they do have a point. I don't think, for me and you, it wasn't necessary, was it?
Final boss I used slow on, and the wall, but other than that, no, I never used blink once.
Yeah, it was mostly attack spells and cure spells.
Yeah, I didn't really use the attack spells.
A lot less strategy was needed in our version.
Yeah, strategy was like definitely the version for DS.
For DS, yeah.
Yeah, also they added the augment system for the DS one.
Could you explain what that is? Because Christian was also playing the augment, like you playing.
Yeah, he was playing the
Kindle
the
one,
mobile
right?
one. Yeah. The augment system is pretty sweet, actually. They take after you lose some of the other characters, you can still retain their abilities that they had by the augment system. Like after you beat bosses, they also drop augments. Like in certain places, you have to go find them, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But like it's pretty sweet. But it's kind of weird because like you get rid of some of the augments by giving people augments. Like you can't get them back. They're not like materia where you like let them use it for a little while. Like once they like you give it to somebody and they disappear, they fucking take that shit with them. But it's okay because they replace it with, if you give it to the right people, better stuff. Like if you give Palom and Porum some stuff, then you get their abilities, which are Bluff, Cry, and Twin Cast. Okay. And those 2 abilities were actually really good in the DS version. Bluff raised the wisdom all the way, like as far as you could go, and made the spells do like a shitload of damage, which was awesome. And then Cry lowered the defenses of all the enemies. Like so, they just became easier to beat. And Twin Cast was a huge bonus for me because like it would do a lot of damage. Like I defeated Scar Malone just using Twin Cast.
Karl Malone?
Yeah, Karl Malone.
You defeated Karl Malone.
The zombie Karl Malone, yeah.
He's a Utah Jazz basketball player.
Yeah. Also, One of the augments that I got that's my favorite was from Fusoya, like at the end. It was an ability that allowed me to cast any spell on the entire party. And so I gave it to Rosa so that she could use full life on my entire party. So like if everybody except for Rosa was dead, just bring them all back. And I was like, yeah! Also, I like other spells like Blink. I couldn't cast on the entire party. It had to be singular. But then with that ability, I was able to cast it on the entire party at once, which made it so much easier for me. So those were, the augments were really awesome. You could also steal a couple from enemies. Like if you fight the optional boss Odin, you can steal the darkness augment from him, the ability that Cecil has at the beginning.
Right.
Which they changed in the DS version that it doesn't attack all the enemies in the DS1. It actually enhances Cecil's basic attacks and causes a little damage to him. And it adds the darkness attribute to his attacks, which a lot of enemies were weaker against darkness in the DS version, so he was doing upwards of like 3,000 damage near the beginning, which was sweet because of that ability, but it damaged him a lot, so it was like, double-edged sword with that one. And then the other ability, the other changes was they added stat boosts to the characters after they reached level 71, and the stats that they gained were dependent on which augments that you gave them. So if you had the right combination on the right characters, everybody could get max stats by level 99.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, they added new spells from like various other games, like 12. They added like Bubble and some other things.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. They also added, it was like a retranslated script, and they added more story elements to the DS version.
Which, of course, we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is that it for the changes?
No, not quite. We also have the reason for Zemesis attacking Earth, which we also discussed. They added 8-direction movement in this one for the DS's stick, so they could move in any direction, basically. And then they had a new summon, White, which was for Rydia. He was kind of like a small cube dude that you could like.
It was just white.
Yeah, he was just white. Seriously, that's what color he was too.
He better be.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want it like a summon called white and it came out green.
Yeah, you could even draw his face. I mean, like you could make it whatever. Yeah, you could make it whatever you wanted. He also came with some mini games that you could play to like, to like change him to be a specific kind of summon that you wanted. Like you could use Cecil's mini game to raise his attack stat, and then like other mini games to like raise other stats, and then he would actually replace Rydia in battle for like a few turns, and then just go back.
Right.
So if you leveled him up a lot, he would be one of the best summons in the game. But you'd have to play the mini games a lot in order for that to happen. Also, they changed. The enemies were more vulnerable to spells like slow and stop and status effects.
Right.
Which was awesome for me.
So that in a way that's easier for you.
Well, it was easier, but it required more strategy because I had to give like all my ethers and stuff to Rosa because I abused the shit out of Rosa.
Just the idea that your version took 37 hours is just making me sick.
Yeah, it was a long fucking time.
And didn't you tell me like half of that was just the last area?
Yeah, half of it was mostly I got to the moon really quickly, and then I had to spend most of my time leveling up because, like I said, the moon was a fucking bitch. Because, like, when you get there, there's a huge difference, and so I had to spend all of my time leveling up my guys. And, like I said, I ended the game.
And we all have a similar experience. This can't just be us.
Yeah, it's
this is something that happens in 4.
Yeah, it's just something that you need to do. They also made the enemies harder with their higher monster HP, which was such a pain.
I wonder why they did that. Usually, the Square games, like them releasing cheats for Final Fantasy VIII and shit like that. It's like they're saying, "Oh, we want to make this game a little easier for new players out there, right?" But yeah, with the remake of Final Fantasy IV, they're like, "Fuck you!" And then, they take their fist, and of course, you know what they do with their fist, right? They shove it up your ass.
Yeah. Well, with the DS one, it would welcome new players. It would add so they could know the strategy of using certain spells like slow and blink, which are the greatest spells, like I said.
Yes.
It's I don't know if it's harder, but the enemies certainly are more of a pain in the ass than in your versions, because like I said, I had to fight each boss a few times, but those spells definitely made it easier for me.
Right.
So I don't know, it might be easier for newer players. I don't know if they want to deal with the older versions with their.
I'm telling you, man, my version with the auto battle and the fact that the game is so smoothly
auto
played,
battle was a huge change
and
for
the
the
game
DS
looks
one.
pretty
Yeah,
damn good in my PSP version. And
Yeah.
I'd say for new players, I'd recommend my version,
yeah,
the one that I played.
All right, and then they have the the mini map on the bottom of the screen for the DS version, which
You got a mini map?
yeah, there's a mini map on the bottom of the
I think
screen.
we had to cast a spell to see the map, right?
I didn't have a map.
No.
No map at all.
Nope. I had the fucking world map when I flew around on it, but that's it. There was no
there
map.
was a spell that Cecil could cast where you could have the world map.
What was it called?
I can't remember. Sight, I think.
Maybe I did have it. I just
Alright.
never used it.
Oh, there's you go. There you go. There's your problem right there.
Yeah, I had a mini map that if I failed to 100%, if I explored all the areas, I would get items, which was awesome, because sometimes I would get elixirs or ethers and stuff, which was amazing for me. Some of the other changes were that they added a new game plus to the DS version, and they added optional bosses of Greyon and Protobabble.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is that about it for the? changes?
Mostly the other changes are just variations from the DS.
Okay.
They added a hard mode for the mobile versions.
Why would you want a hard mode?
I don't know. It's weird to me.
This game was hard enough.
Yeah, it
I was
was-
surprised. After 3, because 3 is supposed to be the hardest one, according to everybody on the planet. And then 4, of course, we had so much trouble with. But 4, again, the save point wasn't that far away from the final boss, and you just had to level up.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of
And
grinding.
there wasn't 5 bosses in a row. It was 1.
Yeah, I didn't find 3 to be that brutal, even with that.
because of your cheat.
Hey,
Kindle cheat.
I don't want to
Bullshit.
hear it about the cheat.
All right, so I got a couple things here that I wanted to mention. I thought it was interesting that this Final Fantasy is supposed to take place on Earth, even though, according to the visual near the end, the Earth has 2 moons in this version.
Well, no. One of the moons was the one that those one dudes lived on, and it flew away.
Oh, it flew away?
Yeah, at the very end cutscene.
No, you're right. Sorry. I feel stupid now.
That's all right, though. It does have 2 moons, and it's weird. I'm sure the tides probably got super fucked up.
It's not a moon, it's a space station.
Yeah.
So another thing, what about the use of bro? How'd you feel about the use of bro in your version? This was not in the DS or in my complete version.
So, yeah, at the very end, what is his name? Porum? Porum was like, you got this, bro, when he revived me, and it was weird. He's like this surfer kid, and it's yeah. There was that, and then there was also a part where Tella was he came up and not Tella, sorry, the faux. No, it was Sid. It was Sid. Sid came up into our room in the castle and was like, "Save the hanky panky till after the ceremony." And I was like, "Oh, nice." It's too late, but
That
nice.
was not in my version.
It wasn't in mine at all either.
Yeah.
And then there was another cool thing I found during the very beginning of the game when I think it was when the king was missing. I went up and I slept in the king's bed. It was awesome. The character Cecil was like, "We should sleep in.
Was it
we
a
should
king
sleep
size
here."
bed?
It was about normal, actually. It just looked nicer.
Wasn't a king? A king should have a king size bed.
That's kind of why it's called that. Yeah.
yeah. So tell me about your miracle win.
Oh, to get the mass immune.
No, it was the Holy Lance for Cain.
Oh yeah, Holy Lance fight for Cain. There is this eye dude. I can't remember what his name is, but Plague is his name, and he what he does is he casts Doom on the entire party immediately, and then he casts Haste on your party. So you have like 7 attacks to kill this guy, and he's got like 33,333 life. And he fucked me like 6 times in a row, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, my characters go down to 0, and no one dies. And I just keep hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, and I'm like, oh, sweet. And then Kane does a jump ability, and he dies, and I get the lance for him. So...
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but I'm happy.
They were all at 0 and they were still alive.
Yeah, like I went through 2 cycles of attacks and then killed him.
Wow.
At 0.
I wonder what the fuck happened with that fucking game.
It just gave it to me. It felt bad.
Something else about this game, and this is really the last thing I have. Oh, actually, no, there's 2 things. Let's talk about the dancers real quick. So we were talking about the dancers in the last episode. Did you find the place where you have to pay 10,000 gil and you get like this club card or whatever, and then you go up to the wall and then there's just like 20 dancers and they're all dancing for you? Did you find those people?
I don't know if that was even in my version. I have no idea.
It is in your version. You must not have bought the ticket.
I'm
telling you, man, king of dancers, like the king of all dancing scenes that you've been complaining about was that scene. In fact, I had a picture on Twitter. I posted like, was it really worth 10,000 gil for that stupid ass cutscene? Especially during a part of the game in which gil is kind of scarce. Like you really need gil all the time, and you're just like, what the fuck?
You know, I actually found that in my game, but I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I don't want to pay for that shit.
Well, it didn't tell me what it was. It said member. Oh, it was members writ.
Yeah, it was a member card that you just could buy.
And I was like, what is this for? Like, I had no idea. Like, I thought I might have to do it to advance in the game. And then, of course, it turned out to just be just a strip show.
Yeah.
Like a Vegas
Freaking
show.
awesome.
For like 6 guys in the audience or something.
Yeah.
Like that. It was like no one was there. And then, of course, we don't talk about the music too much on these podcasts, simply because we can't play the music in the background. Despite what I did with the last episode, having copyrighted music in the background, we're not supposed to do that. But we can say that I think this is the best score so far that we've listened to as far as Nobuo Uematsu's work. Most especially, of course, the theme of love that we hear when Rosa and Cecil have their first scene in the castle, and we hear a few times after that. It's a really just gorgeous piece. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just stop for a second, go on YouTube, and just look up Theme of Love Final Fantasy IV. It's got this really beautiful melody, and it's really like an essential Nobuo Uematsu work. And I don't know, I just really love it.
Yeah, it was a good score for this one. I like the final area better in 3, the soundtrack that they had, the track for that area. But overall, I'd say this one's easily the best soundtrack. Everything just
really
gets better.
memorable. You remember it as you play the game. The other ones not so much. Like I can remember the battle themes probably from like 1 and 2, but. You know, probably for the fact that most of the time I was playing on silent on the DS with number 3. 3's music I don't really remember that much, except for, of course, the last one, which was really cool. But yeah, the music was just fantastic. The story was good. I mean, we got a few problems with it, but other than that, like the story was really good, and the gameplay was, of course, great at times, really, really bitchy other times.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Do you guys have any other final thoughts having to do with this game?
I'm glad I played it. It's a good one.
Yeah,
it makes up for some of the pain in the ass of the earlier ones. We get a really good story, solid gameplay. It's a good experience. I'd rate this as the best one so far.
Definitely.
I would say that it's one to check out. Play both the PSP and the DS versions.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Which one would you play first?
I don't know, actually.
If you could redo your whole experience
If I could
again.
redo my experience, I would probably try the PSP one, knowing now that you could just, like, level grind the shit out of people like overnight, you know, just using the shit out of that. Probably play that one, but the DS one is pretty fun.
Is it?
Yeah. What about that PS1? See, I tried to go...
No one wants that one.
I tried to go all traditional with it. You know, I have 1 and 2 on the Origins, and then this one.
And they're pretty close
Chrono
to their
Trigger.
original. They fixed a couple things for those. Of course.
Yeah, and then I've got 5 and 6 on Anthology, 7 on PS1. So I tried to do it this way, and then
You got the crappy version.
I get wrecked.
Man.
Yeah, it was
badly translated.
Yeah, the spell names and the item names.
It doesn't look as good. It looks like what it originally did. Not that it looks bad.
No.
But in comparison to the DS and the PSP graphical updates, I mean, it's like, you know, there's like no competition there.
No.
Plus your window like scheme, the way that you moved around in the windows. Could you explain how that
Oh,
was?
yeah, it's like a transformer or some shit. I fucking
the menu system.
Yeah, I open up item, and then it like the little window for item goes down to the bottom left and then goes right, and then it opens up this list of items, and then I cancel out of that, and then it like minimizes and reverts its track, and then opens up the menu. It's like, I'm trying to watch this shit happen, and it's fucking with me.
It's like dizzy.
Yeah, I'm like trying to follow the box around to see where I have to fucking
Well,
look.
there was that too, and then when you like tried to use like a cure or an item of some kind, you couldn't just have that item selected and use it multiple times in one menu. It would go back to the previous menu, and you'd have to reselect the item, which looked really, really fucking annoying.
There was that, and then also one more bullshit thing in my version.
Memory cursor?
Well, memory cursor I mentioned. It's when I'm buying items in the store, you can buy by quantities of 1 or 10, which, whatever, that's not a big deal, right? But I'll go in and I'll have 3 inventory spots empty, and I'll be like, well, I know this is a tough area, so I'm going to buy 40 tents. I buy 10 at a time, 10, 20, 30, and then it's like inventory full. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I go out and check the inventory, and each 10 of the tents are in a separate slot, so I have to go all the way down to the bottom of the inventory screen and press the button on sort, and then it throws them into one slot.
At the bottom, yeah, ridiculous.
And then I have to go buy them again, and it does the same thing. It's like 10 at a time in each stack. It's clunky.
Yeah, I remember having troubles with the very, very small inventory that we have in this game.
It's not big.
Like I would press optimize on, which you didn't even have in yours.
No.
I would press optimize on their equipment, and it would have to have a certain amount of slots open in order to optimize their equipment.
Yeah, you'd have to like strip naked.
Because it would like first, instead of just like doing a switch, which would make fucking sense, you know, the game like decided that it needed to dump it all.
Yeah.
And then bring it back on.
That was the same with
That's
mine.
how it was. So you had to have like a certain amount of space in your inventory.
Yeah.
Which I thought was complete and utter bullshit, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing happened to me when I got the ribbons finally in the end. I was trying to equip them, and it kept doing the little noise. And I was like, what the hell? Am I too low level to use this? And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, oh, I wonder if the inventory's full. And it was. I had 0 empty spots to trade the one ribbon.
Like, I didn't even tell you what was going on.
It just made the noise. So
what does that even fucking mean?
Yeah. So yeah, there were some issues with it being, you know, clunky on my version especially, and still some on Joe's apparently.
So since me and you have gone through numbers 1 through 4 now in sequence, you said you would rank 4 as the highest. How would you rank all 4 of them right now? Because everybody loves lists and everybody loves rankings.
Oh,
so
I love
might as well
lists.
go
Yeah.
for it.
My rankings are about the same for the other ones, so I'm gonna go 4, 2, 3, and 1.
Mine is exactly the same. 4, 2, 3, and 1.
Nice.
4 and 2. 4, of course, is the best one of them all. Best story, best gameplay so far.
So far, yeah.
And 2, because of it has a decent story for its time, and even though the gameplay sucks, I think the story of 3 and 1 are just so bad.
Yeah, and the gameplay, I think the gameplay...
The gameplay of 3 is better.
It is. It's quite a bit better than 2's. And it almost makes it a better game, but then not so much with the story.
Right. Caleb, Craig, you have any last thoughts?
Yeah, there was one more change that like
No, we should go through more changes.
No, this is one that I think Joe will appreciate, because this is one that was only for the PSP, and it was the ability to switch between the music from the DS and the SNES.
Oh yeah, that
which I thought was pretty sweet thing that you could do, because you couldn't do that one in the DS, which I thought would be awesome if you
right.
could.
I forgot to mention that.
It would be sweet if you could do that in like other versions,
in the other
remakes.
remakes?
In other remakes and in like other games.
Because
Like
maybe you don't like the new arrangement.
Yeah,
maybe you
like-
want to listen to the old 8-bit soundtrack. Or
well,
whatever.
yeah, also that, and then Square released this video of like an 8-bit Final Fantasy 13 that had like the 8-bit 13 music going on in the background, and I was like, well, what if you could just switch to 8-bit like in the newer games?
Dude, I wish they would like make that for Final Fantasy.
It
13.
was a sweet
That'd be
video.
so
I
sweet.
remember showing you that, and it was like pretty awesome.
And
Did
I
you see that one, Caleb?
retweeted it on our Twitter.
I saw it on there, but I hadn't seen it before then.
Yeah, it was like a sweet thing that I had discovered, and I was just barely thinking about that. It's like, what if you could just switch music, like in game,
Right.
to like like one of the older versions if it's a remake.
13
or-
soundtrack sometimes makes me want to go to sleep
Yeah, so like
because it like has that low bass.
yeah, like change it up to 8-bit and make it like awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
we wouldn't have to listen to that god awful singer either. In 13.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What god awful singer?
The chick that sings through some of the cutscenes ruined the fucking soundtrack for 13 for me.
You think so?
Yes, it's horrible.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that when we get to 13.
We are. We're gonna talk about it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, people talk about linearity and they complain about linearity in 13, but once again, 4 is very linear. I'd say.
I don't think it's as
It's
linear
not
as 13 or
completely
10.
linear, and there's certainly shit to do that you can't do that you can do outside of the main area that you're in, which is of course the problem with 13, or the problem that a lot of people have with 13 or number 10.
Hallway syndrome.
I still think this is really linear. I mean the dungeons were so much smaller in this one than they were for the previous games, and things like that where it just leads you along. You don't really need too much help or too much exploring in order to get things done in this game, which maybe they were looking for us to explore, and maybe that's why we were under-leveled.
Maybe.
They did like their
Because we're just trying to beat
Yeah.
the game for the podcast so that we could talk about it.
Well-
But if we were playing this for fun, maybe we would have explored
And
more.
the issue with that is that
Not that it's not fun.
no, yeah, it's still enjoyable, and I did grab a lot of extra items, unlike Joe, because I had to. But another issue with the extra areas is I kind of like them to be places to level up to go to the moon. But then when I went underground to go to get Bahamut, it was just as bad. Or not Bahamut. There's some other summon I think is in someone underground somewhere. I don't know. There's a dungeon, and I thought there might have been a summon at the bottom of it. I guess there's not a fucking summon there, but whatever.
Oh yeah, there was a dungeon with like nothing in it.
It had items.
It
but
had a bunch of
the
items. And it had
enemies
like
there-
poison on the ground.
Yeah, the enemies
Yeah.
there were just as sick
What
as
the fuck
the
was that
moon.
place called? I can't remember.
It was just as bad. So I was like, I have nothing to do. I have to go level up on the lava surface, I guess, or the underground.
Wow.
So that kind of sucks. But
Yeah. Overall, though, I enjoyed the game. Right?
oh yeah, very
And
much.
I'd say
so.
overall, all of us enjoyed the game. Real quick, I want to thank Caleb Craig for coming on to the show and doing a lot of research on the differences between the many versions of Final Fantasy IV, and of course sharing his opinion. And I want to thank our listeners out there. We've been on New and Noteworthy on iTunes for a couple weeks now, and it's awesome. And we're getting new people in, and we just love sharing our love with Final Fantasy with these people. And once again, I would like to invite you to please subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher or on Podbay FM or on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel now. There's no video on it. It's just the podcast, but we do have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to us, and we put out shows every week. We try to put them out on Wednesday. If we don't do it Wednesday, of course, it's either Tuesday or Thursday. And of course, we keep you updated via our Twitter and our Facebook pages. Our Twitter is @UFF Podcast. Make sure you follow us there. You can go to facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy, and you can follow us there, which we'll post, of course, whenever we put up a new episode. We're going to post it on those feeds. You can also go to our website and see everything that we've done and a few extra things on ultimafinalfantasy.com. And let's see what else. We're still having the contest for the reviews. I want you to stop what you're doing right fucking now and go in there, write a review, because it takes 48 hours sometimes for iTunes to approve your review, so that by the 18th, it's the 16th today, by the 18th, I can announce a winner for our 1000 Needles Final Fantasy mug that we will be sending them.
It's awesome. So do it.
It is pretty fucking sweet, and we want to give it. We want a good, full, healthy review, and we want to reward the person with the best review. You agree?
I do. I want it to be rich. A rich review.
Right, exactly. So next game that we're going to be playing, we decided not to go with the sequel to 4. We are going to go and play Final Fantasy V, which neither of us have. Well, I think I played it for like 15 hours. I've never finished the game. And I don't think you've played it much either.
No, I played like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So this is going to be a whole new experience for us. We've heard bad things, unfortunately, about Final Fantasy V, but we're going to go in with an open mind. And I think we're going to keep our goal of 3 weeks to beat the game. But, of course, it's as you've seen with this last week, we're not exactly solid on those weeks, depending on how busy our schedules get. Though, of course, my play is going to be over by Saturday, so I'm going to have a lot of extra free time. So, fun stuff. I think that's it for the show. And thank you guys for listening. This is a very, very long episode, so I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's meaty for your pleasure.
Yo.
Medio. Try them today.